today, everybody's favorite. We're tearing apart the 2JZ. Welcome to Big Mitch Garage. Yes, that's right, you heard me. We're tearing this beautiful thing apart, so let's get to it. First things first, I'm removing the engine harness because frankly this thing's jank, and I'm going custom harness and aftermarket ECU. So this engine harness really isn't plugged into anything. So if you come over here, you'll see on this end of the wiring harness, well, whoever pulled it out of the car just decided to just cut it off. It's alright, I won't be using this anymore. The VVTi solenoid. The alternator's a pretty good one. There we go. And where my group of wires runs into is right here. So we're going to take this off. That is now off. If you look under here, a mess of wires for the coils. Take this screw off here, which was only finger tight. That is ready to come out as soon as I take all of this crap out. I'm just going to start unplugging things. Alright, this stuff was just sitting over here. We're going to just... Oh, not my son! We're just going to swing that harness over to that side of the motor. Alright, how much of a pain is this about to be to get... I may have to remove some more things before I go ripping this out. Alright, so as we make our way over to this side of the engine, okay, there is in fact part of this. To get that out, I guess I am going to have to slide some other things out of the way. I think it's time to start tearing this thing apart to get the rest of this harness out. I need my YouTube channel to do better. I need to invest in Milwaukee. Oh. We're good. I didn't break anything important. Alright, here's the time. Vacuum hose. Oh my god, what is still connected now? Alright, the last hose is off. What is still connected? Out of the way. That's why. Look it was clipped still. Now with the manifold out of the way, you can see that I was missing a clip, and now this whole harness will now come out. Aha! What a headache! So glad that's out. Alrighty, now it's time to tear her apart. For now, I'm thinking take the turbo, the manifold, the alternator. This water neck can come off. This can come off. The cover takes 2 seconds. Power steering pump can come off. AC can come off. So let's get started with that. This big old turbo off of here. This thing's heavy. Alright, so we're taking this exhaust manifold off now, and if you look in here, this is literally the worst exhaust manifold I think I've ever seen internally. Look at that. That is so bad. So I'm not even going to use this. I am going to keep the wastegate. And now this thing, put my foot down. Okay. So while we're on this side of the engine, I'm going to take the alternator off. I'm going to also take off my custom engine mount that's actually made for this car. Oh, that almost fell. There we go. Little water neck piece just comes right off. Alright, I'm going to get this intake manifold off by taking these bolts out here, 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 there, and there. Alright, so now that that manifold is off, inside my ports actually look really nice, so I'm going to continue taking the fuel injector side off and then these two accessories here. And once that's off, probably the oil filter housing and this engine mount, because to get to this, I need to take this off. There we go. Ugh. All crappy. And these injectors smell terrible. Why? Currently, as I'm taking this motor apart, I'm on TikTok live. If you don't already follow me on TikTok, it's Big Mitch Garage. Go follow that. You want to see anything I'm doing here live? Most likely, it's on TikTok live. So with that out of the way, and I decided to just take the power steering pump and the AC compressor off because it's just a couple bolts pop right off the bracket and everything. They're sitting right here now. So now that we have those things off, I think it's time we take those valve covers off. See if this thing's head studded. It's showtime. Ooh, it's just gross. Everything seems to look intact is like the main thing. And we have head bolts, people. Not too thrilled to see that, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, how's the driver's side look? Let's see. It looks extremely stock, so that's good. Maybe it's good. My cams are real dirty. I gotta take measurements and everything to see if I'm still gonna use them. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I love to go big cam right now. Price-wise, I don't think I can, but I'd love to. So I might still. She might still get a cam upgrade because I might have to versus want to. You know what I mean? Ready? Alright, hit it. The whole engine's gonna happen. Let's get this crank bolt off. I brought in expert help to try and get this off. Perfect. I'm just kidding. This was the worst experience ever. I literally had to go buy a longer breaker bar and then use this and then also put the jack handle on the back of the breaker bar to get this thing to crack once. Ridiculous. But it's off, so we're gonna and just keep moving forward. All right, well, this puller from Harbor Freight literally just did the job in about 2 seconds to get that pulley off, so slides right off now. And then this is going in the garbage because I ain't using no stupid regular damper. I'm gonna get a super damper. All right, mine only has 2 bolts here and here to get this front cover off, so there's usually supposed to be more, but oh well. Do that. This. That. And just like that, my front cover bolts are off. I may have lied. Hold on. Now I gotta take that off to get that off. Crack them free first. That one. This one. And now with those 3 off, that cover is also off. I made it to the point where timing belt now has to come off. But before I do that, I gotta roll this thing over the top dead center so that the cam is in the perfect spot. Perfect. Alright, so next we're taking this timing chain tensioner off. I meant timing belt. My timing belt tensioner. Take the 2 bolts out for that. 2 bolt. Timing chain tensioner is out. All right, and now it's time to take the timing belt off. So now that the belt is off, we got the tensioner take off. Gotta take this timing belt pulley off, and the cam gears, the water pump, and then the oil pump. Get that off. Everything is still perfectly straight. See if this makes a giant mess. Nope, we're good. Definitely gonna need some new seals. Oh, okay. Oh, there's my VVTI cam gear. Oh. Thank you. And now we got the cam gears off. We'll take this plate off, we'll get the cams out, and we're gonna be flipping her upside down. Or maybe I'll just get the head off. We'll see which direction I go. Before we start pulling the cams out, I'm gonna take this oil line off that goes from the block to the VVTI solenoid, and then take the little actuator out. And then after that, we're gonna start pulling the cams out. Filter in here, and mine looks okay. There's a little bit of stuff in there, but nothing crazy, I would say. Boom. Alrighty, so now we got all the bolts off of this thing. We're just gonna lift up, and there goes my cam seal. Like so. Here you go. Wanna hold that?
No.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Another camshaft. Well, this is what the head looks like. Come to the conclusion, this is a very dirty engine. So glad I'm sending it out. Get cleaned up. Alright, now it's time to remove the cylinder head. I ain't messing around. I'm using my big bar. And starts from the VVTI side. And you go from the outside to the inside. So, as you see, I just pointed it. Already messed it up. So it's this one, this one, this one, this one. Now since you did this one, it's now this one. So, oh, and I did it. There you go. And last but not least, 14. Alright, now that all of them are cracked, I'm going to use my impact gun to just zip them all out. I'm going to throw the pattern up on the screen. And that is the order that I took all of these out. Also, pro tip, Clean out the head of it before you take it out because you ain't getting a bit in there if they're all gunked up. Here's one head bolt. These are factory head bolts. Do you know what you do with factory head bolts? Garbage. Don't use them. And don't forget the washer, which you actually have to put down in there. You have to put the washer down in the head before you even put the bolt on. Don't use head bolts when you're building a motor. Head stud it. You'll thank me later. All right, we'll just pry up a little bit here. Right here. Oh, the head's moving. Okay. Ready?
Wowzers. Alright, I'm going to walk away now because it stank.
One head gasket. Ready for the garbage. Alrighty, let's take a look at these pistons. Everything honestly looks very good. You can still see the cross hatching in here. From sitting, it's definitely got like a little bit of a lip here. Honestly, all in all, they're pretty good. Alright, we'll pull the pin, start turning her over so we can get that bottom oil pan. Oh, freaking oil. Just more mess for me to clean up. Alright, now I've already taken the Jeep Liberty to take these bolts out. I got this one left and one on the other side. This oil pan is going to be a real pain to come off. I'm thinking I'm going to end up buying a new one because of how bent this thing's about to be. But we'll figure that out. I'll be right back. Oh my god, it's working. Sucky day to be silicone. Oh, look at that. She is a beauty. I cannot begin to stress how bad this oil smells. Alright, so now that that's off, we gotta take the pickup off. My pickup honestly looks pretty good. The way that the oil pan was, I thought it was gonna be dented, but checks out. Real quick, we're gonna take the 4 bolts out for this. As you can see, I already took out 3. That's the oil level sensor. And now onto this pickup. Can't forget this gasket. Now that all that's out of the way, the rest of these 10 mil bolts will take off the splash guard, making us be able to see the rods and crank. And just like that, the internals of the engine. Alright, so I already got all the upper oil pan bolts cracked loose beside the bigger ones, so we're going to take them out real quick. Oh shit. Now that the small ones are out, it's time to get these bigger ones out. Crack them loose first. Alright, she's gonna get a couple of love taps. Alrighty. And just like that, there is the upper oil pan. Wow, and with that off, you can really tell how much of a beefcake this motor is. It's no wonder why they hold so much power. Alright, we've reached the point where we are now about to take the pistons out of the block. The way that the crank is sitting now, I'm able to get number 1 and number 6 out. So we're going to start with those and then work our way in. Oh my god. Why is it so tight? Alright, so it required the bigger bar to crack this loose. But oh my. Ooh! These actually look really good. They look really good. Alright, let's drop piston number 1 down. And just like that, it's a boy. Oh! I am PPing oil everywhere. Wow. That's just tight. Another good bearing. here's number 6. And just like that, we got number 2 and number 5. Whoopsie. Number 5. Now it's time to spin the crank one more time and get the last 2 out. I'm going to be recording a TikTok on pulling the last one out, so if you want to see anything, Big Mitch Garage, TikTok, Instagram, all that jazz, even Facebook now. So if you want to see any of my short form stuff, go check me out, Big Mitch Garage, on all those. And now I'm going to get the last piston out. Alright, cylinder 1 through 6 now has no pistons. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very surprised on how beautiful this crankshaft looks. Now that the pistons are out, it's crankshaft removal time. Couple light taps. Oh, okay, 1 light tap. And she's off. Alright, we're here. It's time. Main caps, crank out. Let's do it. Alright, so the order I'm using is 7 to 1 and working my way in. I can use that, I think. And just like that, now the crank is ready to be removed. And after some light tapping, these things come right off. You just grab them by the bolts, pick them up, just like that. And my bearings look really good, actually. Number 2. Number 4 is where it gets tricky. Number 4 has 2 thrust washers on either side of it, so it's very hard to get undone. But I lightly tapped the bolt as it was sticking up, and I got it to move. I'll show you the thrust washers now. 1 thrust washer, 2 thrust washer. And this is what they look like. And last but not least, number 7. Overall, pretty good. Which leads me to think I'm going to be putting stock size bearings back in it, which should be pretty easy. And now what's not easy? Lifting this puppy out. Let's do it. Oh my! This thing is so heavy. What the frig? Bro, that's crazy. I literally knew how heavy that those were. Didn't even think about it. And now that the crank is out, we can simply just pick up those bearings out of there. And the oil squirters, I'm actually going to leave in there. No, I'm not. I'm going to take them out. But just the Allen head, take out the oil squirters. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. Helps a small creator like me out. If you enjoyed this video of me tearing this down, hit a follow, because the engine's torn down. You have to rebuild it. So if you want to see how I build this engine, drop a follow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.